I think 25 points. Try our lines. I think you round down to 5 points. And then if that doesn't do
The 29.6 and then multiply it by this.
yeah, you just round. You just got to round it. I think you rounded down. 25 points. I think you rounded down.
Hi, Mary.
Which one did you?
Hi. Hello. All right, welcome everyone. Well, welcome to our last sort of chunk of the course, chapters, what is it, 8 through 10. And we're starting off with chapter 9, so that we can cover comparing means of 3 or more groups, because that's going to be useful to a couple of people on the final project. Let's start off with, are there any questions about the homework? Mike.
Can you go through 4D?
4D. So problem 4 is the effect of different types of videos on people's emotional states. And part D is looking at, based on these results, which means are different. So this is after we've done a multiple means comparison and decided that there is, in fact, a difference among at least one of the population means. So it makes a difference for at least one of watching a happy video, a sad video, or no video. So after that, you can do a set of 2 sample t-tests to compare different pairs of videos or different pairs of groups to figure out which one or which ones are different. So here, we see that happy versus no video, that comparison gives us a p-value of 0.769. So what would the conclusion be based on that p-value? Yeah, there's not enough evidence of an association between which type of video and the emotional state. So that's saying it's plausible that there's no difference between a happy video and no video. But for happy versus sad and sad versus no video, we end up with a p-value of less than 0.001. So what's our conclusion based on that? Louder?
There is a very strong evidence.
Yeah, there's very strong evidence of an association between video type and emotional state. Or in other words, there is a difference in the average emotional state between happy and sad videos. And there's a difference between sad and no video. So what that's telling us is that it could be that happy videos and no videos could have the same mean. But sad videos are definitely off doing their own thing. So let's see. The mean for sad videos is different from the mean for happy videos or no videos, but it's plausible that the means for happy videos and no videos could be the same. Does that answer your question?
I think it was just like very wordy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to make that less wordy, but if you have a suggestion, let me know. All right. If anyone thinks of one, let me know. I can edit the question for next semester. Other questions about the homework? All right. Are there any questions about the video you watched for today?
Actually, about the homework, I couldn't find the math statistic on the tablet. I actually used like the observe or not observe, the mean group difference instead.
Let me see.
I was trying every single information.
So it's mean group difference. Is that the same thing? Does this make sense? Let's calculate.
It worked when I used it for the question.
For the p-value?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so all of these statistics are different ways that you can look at the differences among the means of 3 or more groups. And they should all get you basically the same p-value because they're all trying to get at what is the difference among these groups in the sample. But yeah, mean group difference, let's see. So if we do I need to use Google as a calculator here. 3.90 minus 19. Oh, let's do it so it's positive. 19.82 minus 3.9 plus 11.48 minus 3.9 plus 19.82 minus 11.48. And then we'll divide that by the number of groups, number of pairs of groups rather, 10.61. So that is not the same as the MAD statistic. What is going on there? Oh, sorry, that's a pooled, duh, okay. So I shouldn't be, I should just do well, here, I should change it to a group that has there we go. All right. Okay. 3.27. 4.95 minus 37. Sorry, this is really boring. So all I'm doing here is calculating the MAD statistic manually. So I can see if it's the same as what it's telling us as the mean group difference. That's the sum of the positive differences in the group means divided by 3. 1.16. So yes, that matches this out to 2 decimal places. So the applet has changed, and now instead of the MAD statistic, it's calling it the mean group difference. Thank you for pointing that out. Other questions about the homework? All right. So if you're ready to try it, let's look at whether doing different activities can help you prevent your brain from shrinking in old age. So give you access to the computers. And Mary, this is the Tai Chi activity. It's right here.
It was like, which text I should want to do? And I have.
And if you just want to type questions in the chat window, I'll check back here and answer them as I'm sort of circulating around.
I know, I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? It's fine. It's fine. No, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know that question.
Yeah, I got.
It's too far away.
Check your notes.
Let's see.
Really?
What?
That laugh. Look at your score. Submit.
That's good. Well, she hasn't corrected the rest of it yet, so.
Yeah.
That's good. Did
Hope I
the
wrote it
exam
down.
end up being harder than expected?
No, it was about.
I just like, I just overthought like some of the questions.
Yeah, I definitely overthought something.
I did have a question about like the one that was in, it said it's supposed to be nine, but I it's like only one person is strong. Is strong.
Oh, only one person.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, it's not, yeah, so I was like, oh, that must be. Would have like technically strong.
But the sample size was less than 20.
I don't remember. I have to look at the exam and see.
Okay, I must have missed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I think, oh yeah, that was.
It wasn't easy. It's so hard to say. I don't know.
That's good.
It was good. So I really like what. I really like it.
That's what I aim for.
Yeah. Okay.
All of our hair, like first grade, so
Doesn't Tai Chi is like
I don't
yoga,
want
but
something like that,
I like slow moving.
It's yeah, it's like a slow motion.
Someone for karate.
You're not fighting yourself. Slow motion.
I know what you mean.
Response is your brain starts.
I mean, and it says each participant at the beginning and at the end of the study. There's four.
Wow.
Only for only one. I don't know, I like the hair with yourself.
And then no.
Yeah, no. It's probably gonna take a great science.
Yeah, like I feel like.
They take a ruler to it.
Ask them, hey, can you more empty inside?
I think it's not.
The knowledge of they all have each other. It's a lot, right?
No, actually, it's one.
Oh, yeah. So you.
Okay, so.
And then this is just
At least one.
of them. You can write down a percentage.
So that's. What is that?
That's one each. At least one.
At least
one
No, it should be.
meal.
Oh.
It'll still do
Something different. Oh, good. Yeah, I sort of bunch of stuff on this ones. I sort of.
I like explained it to like I was yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, that was so far. Because I was like, okay, you can't change.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said, like, you have to go back, you get quick options.
Yeah, and I was like, the only thing is to change my day. I did like do a 2 weeks.
You just do a.
No, but it was a regular.
Yeah.
It's asking.
It is a fair study already.
Like, why it's happening?
I just said like randomize over keep the cats.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing them all at the same time, like, one of them's gonna get it before the other. But that's what I said, I'm like, well, based off what it said above, I don't know whether the cats are all being done at once.
Yeah.
So if they are being all done at once, just randomize which cat gets the which order. That's what I said.
Oh,
Right. I didn't realize it was I don't think I said yeah.
If you scroll down, it's like of distance, whatever that, you know, high distance, that's how you compare it. I scroll down, it's the same distance.
yeah, I didn't know.
Wow. Chumps. None.
I guess that's no. It's both. Me, largest man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one for 9. I thought they were. Like here. Oh, I wanted to the smallest.
You don't just look at me.
What is this?
It should be Tai Chi, because like means the highest, the mean of the group that.
I think it's a discussion.
Wait, you're saying that the introduce is touchy?
Because it means the highest.
It's supposed to be labeled on the side of the graph. It's like,
Yeah, it's like.
What's the essence?
Oh, so.
Okay, so that's increase
That's good. Yeah, someone look it up.
107.
Good job. Very smart, you got it. You 107 cards.
Is it brain sensors or is it and then you shuffle it up and it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Because when you shuffle it up,
That is correct. Brain size.
how many are there? So 4. Should each spot this kind
No.
because they were equally. I mean, I was.
It's not even possible to have 4
Yeah.
and 5 and 7. So it should be like,
They can't have that number.
yeah.
So, no.
Where's the math now?
It's
Point 48. Are we sure that's the right one?
Yeah.
It's not true, but I think it's- Okay, cool.
It's not a read.
Where?
After both of those. So, yeah. Well, it's not just, that makes no sense. P values is so then point on social. I was right. So that's. Is that strong evidence or more?
0.04. That's
Strong.
Strong.
But it's not very.
Okay, so take the strong, but they're not very strong.
Is there like a way that these? Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
This would be right.
That one.
That at least one
Yeah.
long one, at least one long one means.
Or maybe not. I just all. Should we put in? Oh, it says put into the context. The right side.
Yeah.
Is the right side right? Is, because it's a. Maybe, we divide it into, on the right side of the tree.
Oh, wait, there's very strong evidence that.
Or we can say the, at least one, the right side of the tree.
Oh, yeah. So one mean of great size of achievement is. So can we?
It's,
What's gonna suck? Oh, they know you.
No.
Yeah. That's gonna suck.
Yeah. And after that, that's like. That's just a study.
Can we tell?
Did you get a break?
So we can't
you can't tell based.
tell, you can tell based on the graph, but you can't tell based on like.
Based on, yeah.
Like you got it.
Well, based on the graph, like that could give you some idea of which ones might be different. But
Yeah.
like you don't know whether it's statistically significant based on these results.
So it's just part of the.
Well, yeah, either way, it's no.
So.
Because, you know,
It doesn't tell us which.
it is.
It only tells us that.
The p-value.
We went to-
I don't think you can tell which one.
Unless they're original.
We're getting the-
So, people kind of
For higher.
How's it going, Mary?
is different.
Let's go size.
So,
Size.
yeah.
All right.
60 to 70.
Let me know when you have questions.
And let's try less.
Sounds good.
I would say.
It's 60 to 70 year old.
Shanghai.
So I would say all.
Well, yeah, it's in Shanghai.
Yeah. But wouldn't, shouldn't we do the ages?
Yeah. 60 to 70.
Okay.
Is it
We're all like possible.
Yep. Yep, I'm there. Yeah, after the first,
Oh, I
after
thought you
I
had to
failed
wait.
like the first.
Like,
Yeah,
in my other
I gave up.
like in one of my other classes, I was like, I kind of understand what's going on, but like, you know, like not really. And then all of a sudden, like, when the new chapter, I was like, I so understand all of this.
You finished you studying for it.
Yeah.
No, I have all the words wrong. I just haven't studied. I'm supposed to study with the person I studied for lab today. But I feel like she knows everything.
I feel pretty much good. Okay, good, so I'm not even looking at stuff until Friday, toward next week.
I think so. I'm on, probably study for the lecture.
You've watched them.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get into those.
I know, because the lab is not so boring. Like,
I'm
it
glad I
posted
did that.
like
It'll
1%.
really brought me down.
I know.
Mine went off, but not that much.
No, like 1%.
I don't know how it's so bad. It's like everything. I don't-
The lectures.
I know.
Yes.
Would you get on your? Still better than me.
No, I like.
Yeah, you're failing.
I felt the first one.
But you guys just like, what'd you actually get on?
No, like actually.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't even get a 70.
I studied crap out of that. I literally like,
Did you do well?
I went to the gas station, got like 3 times. I just, each day I drank one and just stayed by the room.
Yeah.
I just did all the slides.
What did you get on that?
I've asked about that.
44 out of 50.
So you know what this is?
I got really bad the first one, then I improved, I got 4 more questions right. I still failed. Here you go.
I just.
Yeah.
This one I don't know.
Today I woke up, got breakfast. Until it's gone.
Five grand.
2 a.m. today. Like I'm sitting around and wake up like, no. Yeah, I woke up at like 1:30, went to class.
Like I like have the urinary slides down. And that's it.
The urinary test, isn't that like week 7?
Do you have them all down?
Yeah.
I wish.
Well, I just haven't.
If someone doesn't master a few weeks, hand off.
No, like, okay, so if someone were to give me all the slides, I would make and then I would lecture. Like, if you just do the work for me, I can like give you the study tools. I'm literally gonna like, listen, guys, that's what I don't want to go for the slides, I'll be watching for all the slides, I'll make all the study tools.
Oh, fill them all up.
Yeah.
I don't even need that. I don't care.
That was, I studied all like 2
I don't
slides
take
in
notes
3
from that
days.
analogy or that. I like straight dumping. So like, I take notes. Yeah.
I was looking for myself, because if I would have just done the last step, it wasn't that hard.
It didn't seem like it was.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm so
So
sad.
like, we usually have to do that.
Wait, the lab?
The lab.
You have to like,
I
think you just.
I don't know what I got wrong.
Like, what if I got the microscope, like,
I know, I want to look into that.
I think it's impossible to get what I got. Like, I actually have to try to get that low.
Wait, what did you get?
It's 73. I don't know how I did that. I was expecting like a
I think
90
it
at
must be
least.
like the
the microscope. There were so many microscopes that. Like, it's all models, like, you know, that's what 80 of them.
I didn't expect the muscles. I thought it was isolation.
I know, the first time was on there too.
Oh my god, like, I knew the muscles, I just didn't know which one fell into that.
And what I didn't know was that
Like, I didn't know that. I memorized that. I still have
you know that lab, you know, you see stuff, I didn't know, that 3 of those questions, I didn't know. That's what. Really, like, it's a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
It's like
the one
the.
with the back, no, I didn't know the one with the back.
It's like, it's like, which one's best? Blah, 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 but I don't know what. Yes, but- So got all those notes. Or some got 101, but
I know.
they have to. Why?
Which guys were the one that did just.
I don't know.
I know legends did just fats.
I don't know, but it was like more than one.
It was like select
I
all
think I
of
put
them.
2, this was select all. So
But then the other ones, it didn't make sense, I would have just. like animals.
I do.
I was a star.
And then for like.
I have no idea.
Just when you.
I would love when you guys talk on this. I just sit here and I go. Yep.
Just think that this.
We're not even talking about it.
Shut up. Yeah, you're just like, you know.
Have a blast.
It's my easy class.
I wish it would just be worth like. So I didn't know.
I don't even know. I was gonna go.
I don't know, I just.
I wanna at least get the same.
I wish all of my grades, like the down parts would get like at least like a B in this exam. The highest I can get to is like a B minus, like an 80.
Really? Wow. That's. Guess I'm for some right now. Yeah, so I just took the one. Because I took that. We have to be like attention.
I
This is
know.
gonna be out there. And we just have one.
Yeah, so if I can go to this, I actually could get 80. Like, I don't have to get like a high score. I'm just gonna get like close to 80 in my next 2 lectures.
I'm literally.
So,
I don't know how people do that.
see, I have to get done in the urinary system.
I can't cram.
I did 66 slides a day.
I just
No,
say,
last
I'll just
one.
like take an L and learn my feet.
That's why it's tough with houses. Like if I wasn't studying with you, I honestly would not. No, I looked through notes, but because I was trying to do stats.
That's why we can last minute for everything this class.
I just have to get like.
After one test, it's just a moment.
Imagine if we had a test. I would cry.
I'm so glad I came back, and then now we have to do stuff. I'm studying the weekend. Nothing you learn.
How much should we do it? I don't know.
I don't know. I gotta remember.
Shoot, I still have to do.
Did you know the quiz yet?
You what?
No.
10 o'clock tonight.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Thanks.
Did you guys already do? I'll let you know about the ones I can.
I saw the one on Tuesday.
I watched,
Tuesday.
I watched last Tuesday.
You guys are like compared to me.
You just watch all at once.
Yeah, I just watched. And then, like I studied.
See, I can't watch all at once. I think fall asleep.
I don't know. When I watch them all at once, it just like clicks in my head. So I can, like,
I know, I do that.
When you watch the full one, though, like, pausing and doing something else.
It puts me to sleep.
I will look out the window to see people doing. You know, watching or then. I look like playing video. No,
I think you would do well in this process because you're very like studious. I'm gonna tell.
I think I like both of them at once, yeah. I mean, one test every week. You know, should be catching on the last exam. I'm microbiology is. I come back. And that would be all right for the next quiz coming up. But no, I'm fine. Exactly how it works. See, after, I'm only studying for this test, and then after that, test, I have 3 days.
Wait, do you get this year?
What?
Like
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think we'll slide. Like, oh,
okay, guys.
Yeah.
91.
What's up? 25%.
I'll quiz you right now.
65% in the approximate population.
What do you call waste that is produced by the body?
Waste substance produced by the body.
Yeah.
Urine.
Metabolic waste. Yeah.
I'm so bad. You're gonna do, that's gonna be the first bullet point on the slide. We probably don't.
Okay, so in the liver, it converts to, does it convert urea to ammonia or ammonia to bids?
Yeah, urea is the last one. No, I wasn't too bad.
All right, I'm gonna steal control back from you. All right, so let's talk about this. What are the explanatory and response variables for this problem? Sarah?
On the explanatory treatment group,
Is what?
the treatment group,
Treatment group?
oracle. And then the response is the brain size, which is quantitative.
Yeah, let's do brain size change. Yeah, group 2, you were sort of debating whether the brain size change was quantitative or categorical. Can you tell us about what your thoughts were about that?
I was just thinking, if you were looking at it, like, is this a percentage of brain shrinkage? Wouldn't that make a proportion? Or is this like an average between like the baseline and then the baseline?
Yeah, so what if the brain size change was measured as a percentage? Would that make it a categorical variable? Sarah?
I was gonna say, no, but could they have instead done like brain size change, yes or no, in the baseline, or from like?
Yeah, so it depends how you record the data before you summarize it. So if you did something like insert table, like person, group, brain size change, like person 1 was in the Tai Chi group and they had a 5% brain size change. And person 2 was in the no activity group and they had a 3% brain size change. Something like that. If we're recording the brain size change as a number rather than as a category of like yes or no, then this is still a quantitative variable and the percent is just the units on it. So we would still be taking the mean brain size change. It would just be the mean percentage. Sarah's right. If we did something like brain size change, increase, brain size change, decrease. Now we're writing this down as a category that we can't put a number on. So then we would be treating it as a categorical variable. So in that case, we would either do this as a 2 proportion z-test if we just were comparing 2 groups, or we'd use the methods from chapter 8 that we're going to see next week to analyze it if there's more than 2 categories in either of the categorical variables. All right. Is this an observational study or an experiment? Nettie? It's an experiment. Why?
We assigned the explanatory variables. Or
Yeah. So that means that when we get to the end, if we conclude that there is a difference in at least one of the means, we can say that that was caused by the activity that they did. Because by randomizing the value of the explanatory variable, we're equalizing the groups with respect to any confounding variables. So we're removing confounding variables from the equation. Is there any pairing involved? Let's do thumbs up for yes, there's pairing, thumbs down for no, there's pairing. There's not pairing. All right, so I see mostly thumbs down, a few thumbs up. Table 3, what were you thinking about whether there's pairing involved? Yeah, so because we're looking at the change in brain size from before and after, there was some pairing initially in the data that now they've sort of simplified for us by just giving us the change. So I think for is there any pairing involved, both answers are fine, that there was pairing in the initial data. And now the data has been sort of cleaned up for us. And now each of the groups of Tai Chi, walking, social activities, there's no pairing between, there's no pairing between those different groups because it was different people in each of the groups. So is there any pairing involved? Yes and no. All right. So what is our null hypothesis for this study? Ready? Mackenzie? So all of the means are equal is our null hypothesis. What's our alternative hypothesis? Okay, before, what'd you have for your alternative hypothesis? Yeah. So not necessarily that they're all different from each other, but just that at least one of them is different. So for ANOVA, we're just going to go ahead and write the alternative hypothesis as a sentence rather than trying to represent that in symbols. All right, so then you're looking at the multiple means applet. How did you fill in the blank on question 6? The p-value is the proportion of shuffles with mad values that are what? Nettie? Greater than or equal to, sorry, what?
0.448.
0.448? Yeah, so our value from the data, so this is our mean group difference, or in other words, the mean absolute difference, the MAD. And with the MAD statistic, we're always interested in greater than or equal to, because it's always big values of the MAD statistic that indicate that there's a big difference in the means in the sample. Whereas a value of the MAD equal to 0 would be telling us that, hey, all of these samples have the exact same mean, so then there would be no evidence that the population means would be different. All right. So based on these results, can you tell which activities differ from the others with regard to change in brain size? Let's do thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Right, thumbs down. What would we need to do if we wanted to figure out which of them were different? Sarah?
Just know the two sample t-test for all. Compare them all.
Yeah. So you do a bunch of 2-sample t-tests comparing each pair of activities. And that would let you say, maybe Tai Chi and walking are better than none and social activities, or maybe nothing is worse than everything else and all the others could be the same. But we might have an idea of which of those is true based on the box plots that we made, but we can't tell which of those differences are statistically significant just based on the ANOVA. All right, and finally, to what population would you feel most comfortable generalizing these results? Right? Yeah. So our best generalization is to the population that the sample was taken from. So in this case, we were given some restrictions based on age and based on location. It might be that these results also work for people of other ages, and it might be that they also work for people in other cities or locations. I think there's sort of a gradient where I might be next most comfortable generalizing to people of ages 60 to 79 from another large city in China, and then maybe less comfortable to a rural location in China or to a large city in the US. Sarah?
If the prompt said like 60 to 79 from China, you can generalize to China.
Yeah.
It's just like this.
Yep. There's one additional restriction that you might have here, which is, Eddie?
But they're volunteers.
Yeah, they're volunteers. Can you think of any way in which volunteers for this study might be different from the general population of people ages 60 to 79 from Shanghai? Right?
These volunteers that are concerned for their brain health as they age.
Yeah, so they might be people who are concerned about their brain health. So that might relate to their current state of health or perhaps to their education level. They also probably have free time to participate in this kind of study. So this might not apply to people in this age group who are still working full time. And also, they probably are of good enough health that they can participate in these activities. So somebody who is already confined to a bed because their health problems are so severe probably would not be volunteering for a study where, oh, you might be randomly assigned to go for walks. Any questions about this? All right. Thank you for your good work today. I will see you tomorrow for the theory-based test of multiple beams. Thanks, Mary. Any questions? Sounds good. Sorry, I just gave you back.
Okay.